Hi, everybody. This is Beryl Dove Lerner speaking. I teach philosophy at the Western Galilee College in Israel. Right now, our college is kind of closed down because of the war, but I would like to ask you to give me just a few minutes to engage in an exercise in critical thinking regarding the reporting of casualties in this war. So you may remember that back in October 17th, there was some kind of incident. There was an explosion at a major hospital in Gaza. The Hamas officials immediately blamed it on Israel. But what's more important to me here is look at the date. Here we have a report from the day of the explosion, 17th October. And already the Gaza Health Ministry, the Hamas Health Ministry, reported that at least 500 people had been killed in that explosion. Interesting. Well, of course, while Hamas immediately blamed Israel and said that Israel had bombed the hospital, very soon as soon as people started trying to do any kind of objective investigation of the situation, we found more and more investigators deciding that it was actually caused by a misfired rocket, I think it was actually Islamic Jihad rather than Hamas rocket, but it was a rocket shot by the Palestinians that somehow failed to launch properly and blew up by the hospital. So here we have the various, just show you a few headlines from France. Here we have what we know about the Gaza hospital blast. That was caused by an errant Islamic Jihad rocket. U.S. experts say evidence suggests Palestinian militant rocket hit Gaza hospital, and so on. And I trust that all of you know how to use Google, and you can see what CNN and AP and various news organizations that investigated it. And I think you will find the overwhelming majority say that Israel was not at fault here. Maybe Al Jazeera, which is, of course, run by the medieval monarchy of Qatar, if you trust them, maybe they still have a problem with it, but I think that the Western news agencies and Western investigators have basically come to the conclusion that it was a Palestinian rocket. But what interests me here is something else. Look at this. We are talking about October 17th, the day of the incident, and already the Hamas Health Ministry says at least 500 people have been killed, right? So Hamas has been reporting on their casualties in the middle of a war, very difficult circumstances to keep track of these numbers. Let's compare it to what happens when there is a disaster in a well-developed Western nation in time of peace involving one single building, and with the authorities having use of all of the means, instrumentation, experts needed in order to ascertain the number of casualties. And what I'm talking about here is the unfortunate incident which happened a few years ago in Florida when a condominium building collapsed in Surfside. So here we have a report from June 25th, 2021. The first report, here we have death toll rises to 4. By the 27th, 2 days later, they could say with certainty, Florida condo collapse death toll hits 5. They've had already 2 days to investigate. They've gone from 4 to 5. Next news report, it's the 27th. Now they can ascertain that at least 9 people have died in that tragic collapse of a building. That is on the 27th of June. Continue. Now we are up to, where is the date here? The 29th of June, climbs to 11. Notice how in a situation where it's not in the fog of war, all of the experts and equipment needed are available. We're only talking about one single building in a neighborhood, and it's taking days until they are sure that 9 people have died. Now we are up to June 29th, 12 people have died. June 30th, up to 18. Here we are. It is now July 2nd, and they say at least 22 people are dead, up to 22. Give us a little more time. We are now July 3rd. They can say 24. July 5th, up to 28. July 6th, they're up to 36. July 6th, oh, excuse me, this is an earlier report, apparently, 32. That's apparently earlier on July 6th. July 7th, they're up to 54. That's where I'll stop. What I'm trying to say is that when you're talking about a mass casualty event like this, involves things like building collapses, it takes a long time before you're sure how many people have died. Think about reports on earthquakes and on all kinds of terrible disasters. It always starts with a trickle and it builds up. But Hamas somehow knew on the very first day of the event, they were already talking about 500 people. So what I'm asking you to do is take the Hamas casualty figures with a huge grain of salt. Now, I am sure that the people in Gaza who are stuck in the war zone, who are serving as Hamas's human shields. Hamas has built all of their military infrastructure underneath the homes and streets and neighborhoods of these unfortunate people. Hamas is making it difficult for them to leave the site of battle. I am sure that those people are really suffering terribly from this war, and I'm sure that many of them have been killed or injured. What I'm asking you to do is take Hamas's casualty figures with a grain of salt. I am not an expert in these kinds of matters, but it just seems remarkable to me that they are able to produce their casualty figures so quickly and in a way that doesn't match anything I've seen in Western reports on wars or disasters. Think of, you can go check yourself on Google, how long did it take for Israel to ascertain how many people were massacred when Hamas terrorists entered Israel? It started off in the tens, and people were shocked when it reached 200, and it just went up and up and up for days and days, because it's not so easy to come up with accurate casualty figures. How Hamas does it instantly, well, I think that should make you wonder about their credibility. Thank you very much.